you doing?
Doing good. Could warm up about 25, 30 degrees.
Better.
Gee. Oh well. Winter time.
And Kim's down too. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
It's going to be really interesting.
Yes, it can. I don't live in Metamora, though. That's right.
And it's citizen in Michigan. The Michigan Open Meetings Act says anybody. So, I mean, they try to, especially Mayfield was so fascinating today.
Was it?
Because they, at the last month, they, sorry, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
They, tried to replace a board member on the library board. Her
Yes.
term wasn't up, okay?
Yes.
And so I brought that up today. And after the meeting, the library director was there. I wasn't here too, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw her at a meeting the other night.
Oh, okay.
Saw her on Thursday.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, let us know what happened. How do you do that, right? And then you're like, is it just pure ignorance? Or is it they're so arrogant, they're like, oh, we're just gonna do it and see if anybody catches us, right?
That's what he was there.
Okay. I mean, that's just like super stupid.
So has Mayfield have control?
They have a seat, I think. What are your jurisdictions? What are your townships?
No, I'm in Metamora.
Oh, your city, okay. Oh, have you ever been to a commission meeting?
It happens during the day.
Oh, they're in the evening. Oh, I think 6:30. It's like twice a month. I forgot. I only go like once a year, so. But yeah, it's good to keep an eye on them. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Susan.
Meeting tonight. I told Karen I was gonna sit there with my AirPods on, but apparently left them.
Oh, you're welcome to.
You know, I know AirPods are such a person.
Okay.
But thank you.
Isn't she in the corner?
Oh, that
Read the
one.
world caucus. I think they usually do.
Well, they're voting tonight for the World Caucus chair, and I would wanted to vote for Joe. But this would be done soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a long one.
Turn it on for real. I mean, I went back
consent agenda.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the regular township board meeting minutes dated December 9th, 2024, to accept the treasurer's report as presented, to accept the assessor's report January 2025, to approve the bills December 28th, 24, it should be. Transfer funds. Yep. Yeah. Transfer the funds and 2024 annual report from the planning commission. And the bill listing for general fund was checks 30560 through 30591. Building check 2631. Electronic fund transfers payroll for township, police, and fire departments for December 2024, $129,381.61.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Looks like Craig Wise is not here.
He's
Mr.
jumped on
Murphy.
the report. It's in your packet.
Okay.
Oh, here.
Public comment.
Karen Krashakos, the Village of Metamora. So the first complaint in your packets today regards the remarks I made at the last meeting and Chief Brady's response to that later in the meeting. Because I brought up the fact that on December 5th, I witnessed small children in the township UTV going down icy, snowy roads in the village where children aren't supposed to be in a UTV. No one was wearing helmets. I gave 5 points of negligence there. And his response was, and I will read it directly because I recorded it, school was canceled because of temperature because it was so dang cold. School was not canceled because of temperature that day. School was canceled because of hazardous roads, and I got the evidence in that packet. So I really wonder about the integrity of folks here. First of all, to go and take that action, and then to lie about it. I'll use the word lie. That was a lie. Anyone who drove on those roads or had their eyes open that day would know that. Now, second complaint is about Tom Wise sitting on the planning commission when his family's barn and his cousin's business and his uncle's business comes before the board. I get that we don't understand conflicts of interest here in this township, apparently, but that information is there, and I'm telling you that it's a conflict of interest. So the third one in there is about Dave Best coming into the last meeting smelling like you smoked a pack of cigarettes outside and you brought in a bunch of secondhand smoke with you. Please do not do that. Please do not. I will approach it from a First Amendment standpoint because I have asthma and it makes it very hard for me to breathe and think. So we've got to talk about, we've got on the agenda today, the new public time policy. Would you guys please get someone who knows how to edit? So I'll go through the edits really fast first. In number 4.4, there are 2 adverbs in the last sentence that you don't need 2, you just need 1 there. In point 5, it says paragraph 4 above, just point 4 is all you need there. And then in number 9, where it says and attempt, should be an attempt. And then the very last line, it says each scheduled monthly meeting, you don't need each there, just use A. Now, I want to talk about 8, a person who talks out of turn. Mr. Best, you came to the village meeting, you spoke out of turn at the village meeting. So that's not something you've exemplified. But number 1, each speaker should state their name, or shall state their name and address. People should not be required to give their address. Just like I don't want to because my safety's been put in danger here. Anyone who knows anything about domestic violence knows people should not be forced to give their address to speak. Number 2, each speaker must speak from the podium. This is still a lectern, that's still a better word for it. But Tracy, did you notice what happened at the last ZBA meeting when we had a petitioner who sat here and said, well, I can't really walk up to the podium. And you said, well, okay, feel free to speak from there. He shouldn't have to ask permission, and he shouldn't have to be granted permission for that. Thank you.
Susan Huff, 5047 Blood Road. Happy New Year, everybody. I am really glad to see the public time revision policy is going to be discussed tonight. Number 4 still gives me a little concern because it's still a little vague, leaves some room for some viewpoint discrimination. So I'd like you to work on that one, maybe get it a little tighter there. I'd like to say I don't think viewpoint discrimination is a concern. However, Dave did tell me that this policy was written because of myself and Karen Pacheco, and I don't feel that I've ever been out of line in front of this board or any of the other boards. Yeah, you might not always like my viewpoint, but I don't think you could say I've been out of line. I have seen other people interrupt. I've heard other people exceed their time. So I was just curious one time, and I thought, I'm going to interrupt and see what happens. And when I interrupted, the gavel went down, and I was called out of order, although numerous other people in the meeting had interrupted and not been called out of order. That's why my concern for viewpoint discrimination. I also am concerned that this is 11 months. We brought this to your attention the night you passed the policy, which was the first night the public became aware of it, and you would not listen to our concerns. I met personally with both Dave and Scott afterwards and outlined my concerns. No movement, no offers to make corrections. Karen Pacheco and myself had to submit this to a national organization for freedom of speech. We had to submit it to the Freedom for Individual Rights and Expression and have them get involved to get to this point. So I am glad that you're responsive to them, but I'd like you to be responsive to the community. This isn't the Yellowstone. You're not the Duttons. You're here to serve all of us, even if you don't like our viewpoints and don't agree with what we have to say. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to hearing a discussion about the revisions.
Fire department business.
Good evening. Start with our activity report. For December of 2024, we had 27 calls for the month. We had 5 fires, 21 medicals, 1 PI. We had 2 meetings, 2 trainings, and 0 work details. That brings our run total up to about, I think it was 380 for the year. So we've been averaging right around 400, so we're not far off from that. Moving to the agenda, a couple things to bring up. The first thing is I would like to get permission to spend $500 or $1,000 to send 2 of our people to EMT class at Lapeer County EMS. They hold or offer this class on a grant, so as long as they complete it, we'll get our $500 back.
I'll make a motion to send the 2 new members to the EMT class. $500 each. Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you. And the 2 that we're going to be sending are 2 of our new people that we put on not long ago, probably within the last 3-4 months. So they're both wanting to get involved and get trained and all of that stuff. So we appreciate that. Just a couple little tidbits of information for you guys. At the end of the year, we end up doing a candy cane fundraiser downtown at the Four Corners. We end up raising almost about $3,428 in 2 days. So we take all of that money and we use that money for Coach for Kids, Shop with a Hero, that type of stuff. So a lot of that money that we bring in, we end up giving back to the community and, clothes and Christmas gifts and food and things like that. So we take that money and put it to a good cause. Us, as well as the PD, we went to the Rainbow Connection, which I think Chief Davis talked about that briefly last month. And we had like over 20 people come through where we handed out gifts and stuff like that. And them are kids that come through that have cancer and things like that. So we were down there for a couple hours and helped out with that. Shop with a Hero, we donated 2 families. With that, total 7 people, and again, we took them people to, I think Myers, where we do that at, and bought Christmas gifts for them, things like that, the money that we raised. Andy's Market donated 6 hams to the fire department. And we, I think Christmas Eve, we took them out and donated them to needy families in the township that we were aware of. So we handed them out. And then we had our annual Christmas party last weekend. And Officer of the Year was my Assistant Chief Doug Randlett. Firefighter of the Year was Katrina Tapp. Outstanding EMS was Tori Yorks. And then we always give out our award back to the community. A business where people that do good things for us or help us out. And we always give it, not always, but quite often give it to Lions Hall because they do so much for us throughout the year, whether it be donating the hall to us or, you know, just getting involved with things we do in fundraisers. So they won that award again this year. So we're always really appreciative of what they do for us. And then the last thing that I have is Friday the 17th from 3 to 8 at the Lions Hall. We have a fundraiser for Brian Rosner, spaghetti dinner. He is currently in U of M. He's been in there for probably 3 weeks. He's not well. He's got cancer. So we're doing a fundraiser for him. So if you guys would like to come out and support again, Lions Hall on the 17th from 3 to 8. And anything will be really appreciated. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Police Department business.
Good evening. For December 2024, I'll start with those numbers. For December 2024, we had 237 calls for service. 117 of those were traffic stops, 5 traffic offenses, 10 property damage accidents, 2 car first-year property damage accidents, which were down, 4 personal injury accidents, 6 alarms, 7 welfare checks, some of the notable ones. A couple incidents that we had on December 7th at approximately 8:16 at night, Officer Irish and Reserve Officer Lipka, they were dispatched to the area of 24 and Pratt for subjects throwing snowballs at vehicles. 2 juveniles were located and they took off running when they were contacted. Juveniles were located and they were turned over to their parents. There was no damage to any of the vehicles that they allegedly hit with snowballs. Another incident that we had on December 28th at approximately 12:21 hours in the morning, Officer Best was dispatched to an alleged felonious assault complaint that occurred in the parking lot of Cascadens Lounge. Contact was made with the complainant along with the suspect and several witnesses who were all separated. Statements were obtained and the incident has been forwarded to the prosecutor's office for their review with possible criminal charges. Also in your guys' packet, I have the press release from the incident that we had on the 30th. At about 12:20 a.m., we were dispatched to a potential suicidal subject in the area of 24 near Pratt Road. After an initial search with no results, the department deployed the drone, which is equipped with advanced thermal imaging technology to assist in the search. We were also assisted by Michigan State Police Lapeer Post K-9 unit, and K-9 was able to locate a track and give the drone operator direction of travel of the individual. The drone operator was able to locate a heat source in a wooded area. Officers were directed to the area and located the individual who was found unharmed. The individual was taken into protective custody and safely transported to McLaren Hospital here for mental evaluation. Just one of those incidents to show how useful and valuable the drone is for us.
I like the.
Yeah, I'll set the photos in there for you guys. A couple of the community events that we did, we also did Shop with a Hero. I know I talked about it last month. We also did the Rainbow Connection. We enjoyed doing that. And then also, on Christmas Eve, Paul Cato of Andy's Quality Market donated 6 hams for us to distribute throughout the community. Officer Satter, Officer Vicari, and Reserve Officer Lipko were able to donate the hams. Again, I'd like to thank Paul and everyone at Andy's Quality Market for their generosity. They've been great to the community. The only other thing that I had for a request is I'd like to request the bid be accepted from Metamora Building and Development LLC in the amount of $4,543.94 to purchase and replace 6 windows at the police department. They're Anderson 100 series. It was the best quote that we had by several $1,000s.
Great detail, too.
Yeah.
Fine.
Can we get a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve the project proposal by C and L Ward. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay.
C&L Ward was $12,000.
Okay, this one, I'm sorry. LLC, I'm sorry. Scratch what I said. I make a motion to approve Metamora Building and Development LLC. That's the only one I found this one. For a total estimate of $4,543.94.
I'll second it.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Dick carried.
Thank you. Real quick, I have the 2024 total numbers versus 2023. Some of the big ones, call for service, we had 3,018 numbers in 2024 versus 2023, we were at 2,531, so we're up, over 500, around 500. Traffic stops were up from 1454 from 1,010. Traffic violations that were wrote on citations, 659 versus 419. Citations, 586 versus 358. So traffic is obviously a priority, and we're doing the best we can with trying to do as much enforcement as possible. That's all I have, unless you have anything.
All right,
for me.
report.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks for the support at Murphy School too, this last month,
Anytime.
for a few extra incidents. We appreciate it.
Okay, township business, MTA conference.
This year, the NCAA conference is going to be held in Grand Rapids. I mean, the board members would like to go. The cost is $400 and then bus miles. So I'm asking for approval for, the board, any board members that would like to go are able to go. I can get them registered. And the cost is $400 plus lodging.
March 3rd.
March 31st,
Third?
through,
Yeah.
April
Early
3rd.
bird. I'll make a motion to approve Sue to,
It's not just me.
yeah, to submit our forms for who decides to go to the conference. How's that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
I will decide.
All right, motion carried. Township intern.
So in the beginning of the school year, last year, I reached out to a counselor at the high school asking for if they had any students that wanted to work the coming up election and, or if they wanted to intern, if they were thinking of going into an office setting or looking for government. I had a couple that were interested in it. I had one that worked the election, and then after the general election was over, I didn't hear back from anyone except for Madison Amy. She submitted her resume, and she is an early college student, and she's interested in going into political science. So for her to get hours and that type of thing with the school, I would like to hire her on. She can work after school, about 12 hours at the most during the week, but probably not that much. But just to give her some experience here.
So the next one on the agenda is a road project agreement between us and the road commission for a culvert replacement that was failed on Barber Road. So the amount of the project is $4,900. So I'm making that motion for that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. Public comment policy.
So, in your packets is a modified public time policy, the updated one. Assuming everyone's had a chance to review it. Any questions? If not, I'll make a motion to adopt the policy.
One second.
Go ahead. Yeah.
For just a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
In number one, where it says each speaker shall state their name and address, the address portion, would it be acceptable of township resident or that sort of thing, or does it need distinct?
I personally would think that would suffice.
Is there a
I
way
mean, because
to?
it is, you know, people's address out there.
Give them some privacy.
So you still want that, but or should we just eliminate it?
State their name,
That makes
their
it
name,
easier.
would that be acceptable?
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, we can cross it out. Let's just
Yeah.
ax it. It's fine.
Right.
Okay, I'm good.
We get a second?
So what the motion should be.
I made the motion.
With the change, right?
I'll make a
Yes.
motion including the change, unless you guys need more time to read it. You good?
We worked on this with Fisher.
Okay, I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carried. All right, township board discussion. Anybody have anything?
I have a few remarks about the EMS because I went to the annual meeting and Russ Adams really does a fantastic job. I mean, he has that working like a fine-tuned, I don't know what you would call it. Anyway, he said that this year he has full employment, doesn't have any vacancies in any of the positions, and he's keeping the costs flat in the face of a double-digit control. It's a control expense. And he talked about the EMS that we're gonna send to our people there. But in addition to that, they have it started at the high school, here, ISD. They had 13 students and 11 passed the course. So it's a great thing for the high school students to get their training as they're going to school, just as we're gonna hire Amy, or,
Management.
yeah. And they'll be able to, if they choose, they can be hired at the EMS at the end of their high school. So it's nice. We had a lawsuit, I wasn't privy to what the lawsuit was at the time, and it was discharged. And December 17th, 2024. He's added some people to the staff. Anyway, like he said before, there was full employment, and it's fully staffed now, completely. They'll have 24 hours on Saturday, 2024, fully staffed. But I want to explain something that shows up on our budget. It shows that we're in the red, $19,404.79, because due to the state hiring a company to pay for the prisoners at the correctional center, we have to transport them back and forth. And they're to pay us, the state, it's over $200,000 in arrears that the state has not paid. And the first company that they hired is now going bankrupt, and I think it's going to be investigated as corruption by our state representatives. And it would be Kevin Daly is one of them that's looking into that. And we're still waiting for the $200,000 because they hired another company and we actually paid them or something, and they have not returned the money to us, so we're waiting for that money too. So it's approximately $200,000 that we should have in our coffers that we don't have because of the state. But other than that, it was a beautiful report, and like I said, it's, all the bases are full, filled, and our equipment is up to date, and I haven't got anything to complain about. And there was a vacancy on the board. I haven't been on the board in, I don't know, maybe 15, 16 years. I graduated from the peanut gallery the other meeting. They put me back on the board. Amazing. So that's my report.
Okay, any more?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.